Hello.
Hello. All right. Welcome everybody to our first live stream on this channel. And we have 3 viewers, which is amazing. That's like 3 more than we've ever had. But I'm Nicole and I am an LSAT tutor. And tonight we're going to talk about if you should go to law school. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat and we'll make sure to get to them as quickly as possible. I don't think the person that I have joining me, we're dropping real quick. Now we're down to 2, but it's fine.
So that's rough.
That's
That's the game. That's how the game is played.
That's how the game is played. We should have been more snazzy as we entered up. So, how do you want to introduce yourself? Because you just have yourself as Wrongful Life.
Yeah, that's a name I used to go by on a forum, so that'll do here. I made my little avatar, this picture I drew of Elon Musk and the Tesla Cybertruck.
Oh, I like that. Let's make that bigger for a second. What do you think about? Do you think Elon Musk is going to go through with the thing?
No, I think he's not. All this stuff about the bots that he's complaining about. I think he's using. I think actually the Parag Agrawal, the former CEO, is right that there's not a lot of bots on Twitter, and that just like it's very easy to mistake stupid people for bots, and so there's not actually that many bots.
Okay, but what does that mean for Elon Musk? Because
Elon's saying that he needs to give him like more proof that there's not bots, and they're like, look, here's like our data, and Elon's like, I don't believe it, I'm backing out. So I think he's just using it as an excuse.
But the judge said that his tweet was reckless or whatever. What does that mean? That's actually really interesting.
Tweet was I mean, my tweets are reckless, but I'm not the richest man in the world.
Okay, no, I think it was like, hold on, let's look at this. It said something like,
I pissed off an Emory professor today on Twitter.
what professor?
It was some civil rights guy. Somebody had retweeted something he said about how the ABA needs to like mandate a pre-law curriculum to include like English and anthropology and ethnic studies. And I
like quote
in undergrad, and I quote tweeted him. I quote tweeted him, and I was like, "Yeah, I didn't really understand civil rights jurisprudence until I took several ethnic studies classes in undergrad." And he thought I was being serious, so he replied and was like, "Thank you. Like, I'm glad you agree." And I was like, "No, you don't get it, Professor. I'm being sarcastic and making fun of you." And I did, and then I was like, "But while we're here, like, since he's at Emory, I asked him if Rich Freer really talks like that, and he
no, he's much calmer in real life. I have a friend.
See, I didn't know this, so now he didn't answer, but now you can tell me.
Let me ask you.
That's what I did today. I pissed off an Emory professor.
Okay, someone just told me it's not playing. No, I'll text her. I'll be like, hey, are you free? You want to jump on our stream?
That's him.
Jump on and ask what? Oh, I think Rachel is one of our. Oh, I shouldn't dox our viewers. Sorry, but you should all put comments or questions in the comments.
Is this an individual that I know?
Yeah, she was in our law skills class.
Oh, that one. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I invited her. Yeah, she said that she's taking our classes. She's taking I'm getting ready to go to bed though. I have class at 8.
What is she taking?
She's taking the not business professional. What is that called? What is that class?
What?
It's like professional responsibility.
She's taking PR.
Yeah. What all do you even cover? Rachel, tell us, what do you cover in PR? But yeah, she's
tell me what I can't say as an intern.
As an intern or as an attorney? Okay, both. So yeah, tell people, what did you do today? Oh, she texted me, professional responsibility. Thank you. Okay, so hold on. I gotta get this thing. Okay, so what did you say? Would you ever take an intensive, do you think?
I did, and it sucked.
Well, we had to take research, but would you ever take another one? And that one was, I think, because like we didn't get to choose it.
I actually want to do the statutory interpretation one. That I think it's optional for 2Ls, but
oh, she said that she can hop on for a few minutes. Yes.
Based.
face. Like, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. Like, tell us all about him. Oh, she says that her intensive sucks. Hey, Nicole, just wanted to say I've been watched a bunch of your LSAT videos and they have been so helpful. Thank you. Stop, Franco. We actually got a compliment. That is so kind of you.
Franco Physique with the comments.
Franco Physique. Yes, thank you.
Can you post physique though, Franco?
What other videos would you like? This is our first live chat and we want to do more law school content, but right now we're just kind of talking because I think you're our only viewer, which is totally fine. We'll slowly grow. But how long have you been studying for the LSAT?
Somewhere between too long and not long enough.
Wait, is your friend joining that needs help on the LSAT? I do. I scored a 175 on the LSAT. So if anybody needs help with the LSAT, that's what I do. I teach LSAT courses while I go to law school, but mainly because I just love teaching and I miss it when I'm in law school. So this is what I thrive on. But let's talk about Elon Musk. Okay, so why does he? Okay, so Musk works with Twitter over his buyout deal on
like
Twitter.
A dork in that picture.
Hello. Oh yeah, and today, during the Amber Heard trial today, they literally played the video of them that was James Franco, her cuddling James Franco in the elevator. But we'll get to that. We'll play some of that because that's real good.
You sure that's safe for work content?
I'll tell Rachel she can join too. Here, Rachel, I'm sending you the thing if you want to join. Okay, so he says that Tesla CEO Elon Musk promised that, and this is a really good insight into if you should go to law school, as our comment says, is do you enjoy like reading random articles and following things in the news? You don't have to like it all the time, but we talk about this stuff. How often do you think that when we talk to people in law school that you're talking about something law related? Wrongful life.
Yeah, if you like having stupid arguments on the internet about constitutional issues that you have no control over, then
they get you excited, right? I think that's a big thing.
I get very excited. I get heated. I get banned off of Twitter. Not anymore, though, since Elon saved us temporarily.
But I also think sometimes, like, it's the smaller argument, not even arguments, it's the smaller topics that you get more excited about rather than, like, the hot topics. Because
I do get excited about personal jurisdiction.
Because I think the reason, though, is because on the big topics, people are so opinionated and, like, you're never going to convince anybody that you can't always have a great discussion. Sometimes people can have a really good discussion, but not everybody can. But sometimes on issues that you're not related to at all or you have no personal interest in are the most fun because you can get into, like, really strange nuances with your friend. And I find that really enjoyable. Okay, so Franco said, I've been studying for 6 months and still have trouble with level 4 and 5 LR questions. Yes, okay, so
There's
are
levels?
you using, yeah, well, they're kind of like, I'm guessing he's using probably like LSAT Demon or something of that sort, or just like the more difficult questions.
That's not very Liberty approved.
It's a really good program. I highly recommend LSAT Demon. But I wonder if you're using a wrong answer journal, and are you drilling specific question types? And
don't get me started on the Urey doctrine.
You should sign up for my boot camp that starts June 4th because LR is kind of my thing. But we also have a bunch of videos of question explanations that I think you would find helpful. Thoughts about the Urey. Rachel said thoughts about the Urey doctrine.
That's why I said I was like, don't get me started.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. What is the Urey? Oh wait, Akarshna's here.
Who?
This is my okay. So go ahead and introduce you. This is our first stream. We're starting a thing.
I don't know what's going on. I got this text like 2 minutes ago, so I don't really know what's happening.
Okay, so no.
Welcome to the Ralph Retort. I'm your host, Ethan Ralph.
No, shut up. Terrible person, like Ethan Ralph is. So anyways, my friend that is on, I will not like show his face, he was like, I went at it, or he was what did you say? You were like trolling an Emory professor today on Twitter.
I was.
But then he's like, did you say you asked him or you wanted to ask him?
I did ask him and he didn't respond.
He's like, that is Richard Fair like in real life.
Well, I said, does he really talk like that? Does he really like joinder?
Yes, he does.
Like, is he not like when I didn't know that this past
purposeful availment?
There's really two things that we need to pay attention to here. So we're going to start.
And you're going to do great.
This is real. go with what your professor says, but this is what I would go. Like, you
Well,
might have
every
watched it.
professor has their own theory of Erie.
Yes, that is a direct quote from. So, do you watch his videos, Akarshna, if you had him as a professor?
Um,
That would seem
Like,
to
I
be
mean,
the
like,
meta.
was the
So
did you read the
I-
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. I have so many questions.
His Barbary videos are helpful if you didn't have him, but if you had him, you know that he goes way more in depth. So what I did when I outlined for Civ Pro was I had his short and happy guide, which is pretty much a transcript of his Barbary videos.
Yes.
So I kind of, depending on like what mood I was in, I would either look at the book or the Barbary videos, and I would use that as like a basic, like, okay, here's all the most important concepts he talks about that I need to expand on, obviously, and then maybe there's a couple more things. So I would maybe use it, but I had him for class. I had all my class notes. I had old outlines, and then I had our class recordings. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that useful for me, but I did watch a couple videos that I thought I needed to, and they were helpful. And I can see how they'd be helpful for people who haven't had him or who might have had like more questionable professors or Civ Pro.
Yeah, more
I think we actually had a
words.
really good Civ Pro professor, but sometimes I struggle with the pace of class, like if it's too slow or too fast.
That's because that dude is hopped up 24/7. He's like snorting Addy before class.
Our professor or Freer?
Well, both of them, but more so Hesh.
Yeah, okay, we can't say our professors, but thank you. Yeah, no, our professor is great. He comes full of energy. We had him at 8 a.m.
Is it not?
Full life. He's one. I mean, he's like a very good like he was a very successful attorney. I forget, like he's won like $500 million suit, like, you know, like, so he knows his stuff. But sometimes the pace of class I would struggle with. So I actually like to watch Freer's videos before we would cover the topics to give me like an overview, because then I could like plug stuff in. But I always wondered that, because in his short and happy book, he literally tells you what he would want on an exam. And so I'm like, does everybody just get an A? Because I can't.
No. No, our exam this year he had 2 sections, like 200 students. So our exam was only 1 essay, which only counted for 25% of our grade, and it was 52
that's tough then.
questions. So the curve was rough in this class because everyone thought it was easy, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I walked out of it and I was like, that felt a little too easy, which means that there was a greater potential for like a singular mistake to like kind of mess it up.
Like the LSAT scoring 170, right? Like the higher you get, like it's a one thing. So like, do you like essays or multiple choice questions, like exams, better? It's a love-hate relationship, right?
Yes.
I think I do like essays better. Personally, what I like is I like a good balance between essay and multiple choice. So if the exams I did best on, it was mainly weighted towards essay, but it also like had some multiple choice in it, because for me, it's hard to sit down and just write for 3 or 4 hours. Like, I had my first few like essay based like questions this semester. Last semester was a mix of either multiple choice and essay or purely multiple choice. This semester I had 1 pure multiple choice, 1 3-hour exam that was 3 different essays, 1 4-hour exam that was 1 essay, and then 1 exam that was 60 multiple choice questions. No, 60 true false questions.
60 true false questions?
Yeah, so that was
that curve brutal?
So property is weird because we had a midterm that was graded. So he kind of offered us a midterm, and he's like, if you do a midterm and it's graded, we won't worry about the material for the final. So that was nice. Like, the first 6 chapters done in the midterm.
Whoa.
But it was a rough class because he's like, you can't write in IRAC fashion. You can't do that. If you use IRAC, you'll fail. So it was
like
really
our law professor.
So it was really weird because we didn't know what exactly we had to write for that exam in the midterm. That midterm was 5 questions. It was essay based and it was 2 hours, but they were really short.
What kind of topics would have been on that? So I'm guessing that because they only take property 1 semester, so I'm guessing you guys don't do a lot of personal property.
What did we do for a semester?
Probably didn't do all that equitable servitude garbage.
We did landlord tenant. We did
what did you start with?
We did like all like the fee simple stuff in the first half. We did like basic intro to property, all that stuff in the first half. Second half, we did recording, easements, covenants. And we kind of talked about zoning, but not really. So
takings and nuisance. So we take 6 credit hours of property, which I think a lot of schools only do 4 or 5.
We do 4.
I think we do 5.
Yeah, so we take, or we never mind. We take 5 credit hours of property. So we
It's
did
too
2
much,
last
whatever it
semester
is.
and 3 this semester. But our property professor is the complete opposite. He probably mentions analytical framework every day of class.
Yeah, he doesn't really talk about property law. He just talks about like, what does it really mean to like have laws?
Yeah, ours didn't really talk about property either.
Like, what is it like? You got to think about the laws
The
about
burdens and the
benefits and the
benefits.
burdens, and you can't have all the benefits without having the burdens. Anyway, time's up because saying those 3 things took me 50 minutes. So I'll see you guys
So
on
now
Thursday.
we'll watch a video.
And now we're gonna watch an NCAA basketball game.
Okay, so property, how did they do true false? So, like, because so our first semester property was like a lot of like short answer, like half of it was like an essay and then short answer and then
Stupid
probably like
essay
10
about
multiple
gifts.
choice. Where I thought property was the hardest this semester because it was like like a longer, it was like half essay, but then we had 30 multiple, we had an essay and 30
34.
multiple choice in 30 or 3 hours, and I didn't finish.
Yeah, there was 35 multiple choice, 2 short answers, and an essay.
I don't know if I can answer the question about what my exam looked like because we're getting grades I think this week, and it has been handed back to me, and I don't know if that's a violation, and I'm not about to record myself.
Oh, I'm
doing
sorry.
that. No, you're good. You're good.
This is why you join things
myself.
anonymously. I can say whatever I want. Nobody knows.
No, I think that they've told us that you're allowed to talk about like the format of the exam, and they even will give us like before our exams are even taken. Oftentimes they send us like the format of the exam out like the night before or even the week before of like how many questions it is and they suggest a time.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And we can like oftentimes we can say like what the essay topic was because it can always change. But they don't like us to talk necessarily about like all the details of the questions themselves.
Yeah. So
like,
I think the most I can say is that it was almost like reading comprehension in a way where he'd have like a short little hypo, and then following that hypo he'd have like 4 or 5 statements, and then you just mark which ones are true, which ones are false.
Oh, nice.
His exam was rough because he also said that for this exam, he considers some questions some answers so wrong that if you choose them, he will take points away instead of not just giving you the points. So I'm like not excited for this class at all.
I get those, and I think that's something which at least there are for at least some of our exams. Sometimes there are a couple, like I say this like very lightly, a couple give me multiple choice because I think they want you to like get something right. But then there's not like, would you agree with that? I don't know, like. Like if you were paying attention in class, you should get this question right.
Right. Yeah. Like yes. Like.
But not all. Like, but then there's some multiple choice where like all 4 of these are right and this is stupid and I don't even like one of our exams was like the professor talked about this in class. What is his opinion?
Look,
what was it?
Yeah, you just have to enjoy listening to I don't know Brandon or whatever his name is officially, Professor Brandon. Yeah, he's like 83. He was there during the Civil War. He's 183, and he just remembers how the law was back then, before all this, back when they had chancery courts.
Okay, but he asked us what was the.
He has 3 questions, and the call of the.
What is it called when a judge disagrees with a case? Like I'm completely blanking. The dissent. He asked us what was about a case. He asked us what was your professor's opinion of the dissent of this case.
To be fair, he did talk about that dissent for like 45 minutes.
But there was 2 answers that I thought were like.
It was that North Carolina case about beating women.
Yeah, no, I knew his opinion. If it was like an essay, I could have answered it, but I didn't know what the proper term was that he used.
Because one of the answers was like your professor is like all about it, like he's all about letting women be beaten up and not letting them invoke self-defense.
Oh yeah, it was like about it was essentially a case that was about is self-defense whenever it's like battered woman syndrome, is it
can you premeditate and murder your husband if he beats you?
But there's time where
can you like wait till he hasn't touched you for several days and then kill him in his sleep?
Yes.
And like I'm supposed to get upset that the answer to that question is no.
I was heavy about that. But he says that it's not an excuse, but it's a justification, right?
It would maybe be. No, he was saying it might let you plead on to manslaughter, but that it would not let you invoke a perfect defense of self-defense.
Correct. I agree. But didn't he say that? But it doesn't fall into the excuse category, but it falls into the justification. Because like, what is it? Justification is like it's something that morally
justification is Kyle. When you think justification, think Kyle, because he did nothing wrong, legally speaking.
In the eyes or whatever. But then that's not what a professor said. I get what you're saying. And then in the other one, it's like it's morally wrong, but society will excuse it for a situation, right? Have you taken crim law, Akarshna?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Are we like, are we saying things that like you guys talk about or not at all?
So our professor like didn't go too much into defenses and excuses. We kind of spent like a day and a half on it, honestly. So we didn't talk about it too much, but yeah.
I think our professor just like kept talking about things like he would just like go on tangents like depending on the case, honestly. Like it was just like very disorganized.
We honestly spent most of crim building the prima facie case. We spent a lot of time on the elements of like how to build a case instead of going through the different crimes. Like I think we spent like a couple weeks on like theories and stuff like that, and then we spent
like theory, like
on like building a case, and then we spent I think like maybe a month on all of like crimes against people, a couple weeks on crimes against property, and then like a couple days on defenses. And for crimes against people, we mainly focused on murder and manslaughter. Yes, like we didn't do rape and sexual assault. Like he said, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I don't want you to do it. Like I don't care to teach you about that right now. I don't think you need it. So we didn't learn about that. We also didn't learn about kidnapping and false imprisonment in class. Wow. So we really just focused on like murder and manslaughter. Like that's what we focused on.
That was probably the fastest moving class that I've had, at least. And I think we covered pretty much everything. We're like, I think we only spent a day. Did we spend a day or 2 days on property crimes?
We spent 2 days on property crimes and 30 uncomfortable minutes on rape.
Yeah. Willie's read about it, and he didn't ask questions about it. He just talked about it because he was a judge, and he just shared his experience about how hard it is to prosecute and how it's like putting a victim on the stand and how unfortunate that is. And they're like he just shared his experience of being a judge in those types of cases, kind of thing.
Yeah, we didn't learn about it at all. Like we really didn't talk about it. Like the most he spent on it was being like, I'm not going to teach you this because I think you guys are going through enough this semester already. And statistically, I know there's at least a few survivors in this room, and I don't want to do that to you all. Yeah. So I'm just not going to teach you this semester.
Yeah, our professor our professor was kind of the opposite, where he was like, in the past I haven't taught about this, but I think it needs to be taught more. And then he actually talked about it the first day of class, and then he talked about like when we actually covered it. So he was like very sensitive towards it.
Yeah.
But it was more of a like, no, I would almost say it was like more of an awareness class, and actually like, oh, and I think we had one.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention.
There was one multiple choice question about it, but I wasn't expecting to be. Yeah, like there was, but it was a really easy one.
I don't even remember.
Okay, so but was Richard Freer? Is that how you say his name, Freer?
Freer.
Was he your favorite professor or no? You know, that's how there's one person watching, so I'm not too worried about it.
Wait, how many people are on this call right now?
One.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was a great professor. You can tell like he runs a great lecture. Like he finished our class. Our exam started December 1st last semester, and he entered our class November 1st. So we had like so much time. So he was a great lecturer. He very clearly knew what he was talking about, and he also
did how to communicate it. It sounds like
what.
And how to communicate it, it sounds like. Not only does he understand it, but he must know how to communicate it.
Yeah, he was fantastic. But my favorite professor, I think, so far has to be my contracts professor. She was great.
Me too! Okay, tell me about yours, though. Why?
She was great. She just very clearly cares about her 1Ls. It's very apparent that she cares about us, like outside of the classroom, like after, like, I could go to her office anytime, at like whenever I wanted, whenever she was there, I could walk in, I could sit down for an hour, and we could have a conversation about anything we wanted to. I had a question. I'm in Write On right now, and right before Write On, I emailed her because I needed her advice. Because for Write On, there's 5 journals here, and basically what you do is you go through one process, and then you rank all the journals in your order of preference, and then they like do their process. So I kind of emailed her and was like, "Hey, I know you said that you have to play a ranking game because like if you rank a journal too low, you're not interested enough for them to be interested in you." And I want to maximize my chance of getting onto a journal. So
Wait,
how do
so
I
your
play that
school
game?
has 5 journals?
Yes, we have Flagship, which is like the regular Emory Law Journal, and then we have the Bankruptcy Journal, the International Law Journal, Corporate Governance, and then Law and Religion.
Ooh, I could help you with law and religion because like we spent a whole semester talking
I'm
about that.
straight
Yeah,
up ranking
we
that
had
class.
Bible
He's
study.
like,
I know
we're like, we
we
can
had
tell you.
Bible
So
study class.
my friend here is an atheist but goes to the school that we go to. So he can tell you all about his thoughts on that. He's the one on here. I'm just not trying to dox us at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I'm ranking that last.
I don't
Doesn't
mean
like
that
10
bad.
people get it, and
We have
I'm
we
not
have
trying
the
to play
law
it.
review.
You're
The
like,
law review and the law journal. They're technically 2 different things.
so what?
But Brandon runs both of them.
But we only have one journal.
There's the Liberty Law. There's the. Look,
Our one
I'm
viewer.
not like on high security because unlike the rest of you, I didn't dox myself.
Like anybody that watched this that went to our school would not recognize your voice.
No, they're gonna know that it is I, Davis Halson.
No. Okay. So how does that work? So which one would you like to be on? Like, is there anyone?
Law review is the real one, and then I
don't know that because like maybe at Emory, like if they are like very specialized in a like.
Well, I just looked, and law review is like full length, like 30-page articles, and law journal, if you look at it on the
I guess I didn't know that. There's law review and law journal. Okay.
They are 2 separate publications, but I assume they're both governed by the law editorial board because there's not separate organizations.
Is that true, Akarshna?
For us?
Yeah. I'm not talking about for them. I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you were saying in general that we have law review and law journal. Okay.
Well, at our school, we have both.
But okay. Our Write On is only. How long is your Write On for?
2 weeks. I'm in my 2nd week right now. It's due on the 22nd.
How many hours a day do you work on it?
What?
How many hours a day do you work on it?
Honestly, I kind of slacked off the first week because again, my ADHD stupid brain doesn't make anything seem real. And now that I'm on this side of the period when I'm like, oh, less than half the time left, I'm kicking more to gear. I'm a faster writer than I'm a reader though, so hopefully that goes quicker.
Same, and it's the ADHD brain for sure.
Yeah, so our Write On is a citation quiz that's like 12 questions long, and then a personal statement, and then our case note. And our case note is a maximum of 10 pages of substance and 10 pages of endnotes.
Is our case note going to be the Dobbs thing?
No, I think that would be too. I think the one
a little too on the nose. I feel like that would be right on brand. We all have to give our.
I actually think it could have been. There was a First Amendment issue decided yesterday that I haven't looked into yet. That I want to, and because I've been trying to pay attention
for them to announce New York State Rifle and Pistol Association.
Is that what it was?
That's one that.
That was yesterday. No, Friday. There was.
Well, it was argued in October, and they're supposed to issue the opinion any day now.
Was that the one that there was a Supreme Court decision on Friday?
I would have heard about it because all my gun friends would have told me.
Was it the immigration one on Friday?
It was a First Amendment issue. Well,
give them some time. They're still recovering. They've probably fired all the clerks.
Court sides with Ted Cruz and strikes down campaign fine. Oh, it was a finance restriction. Okay. The court ruled that a federal limit on when candidates can recoup loans that they make to their own companies unconstitutionally burdens political speech. All right, you can read it. I guess. I just can't with Ted Cruz. Like ever since the Texas thing and like going. Okay, so
Give me the delegates, Donald.
The Supreme Court on Monday struck down a federal campaign finance law that limits how and when candidates can repay loans and they make to their own campaigns. Wait, struck down a federal campaign finance law that limits how and when candidates can repay loans that they make to their own campaigns. So like,
so now they can, I don't know, they can do financial schemes to finance their campaigns.
So like they can take loans from their own campaigns and they don't have to like they can pay them back whatever they want.
I'm just whatever is the shadiest possible outcome is I'm sure what they ruled here. It tends to be the campaign finance jurisprudence is like if things are above board, then you're
Okay,
doing
the
something
case
wrong.
Federal Election Commission v. Ted Cruz for Senate. It involves Section 304 of the Bipartisan Campaign Finance Reform Act, which allowed candidates to use up to $250,000 in post-election contributions, but no more to repay loans that they made to their campaign before the election. A lower federal.
Sorry, we lost the election. This is like when Bernie didn't give anyone their money back. Like, sorry, suckers, I'm giving it to like the Green Party.
Is that what it means? Okay, writing for the court, Trustee Rob began by rejecting the Federal Elections Commission's argument that Cruz and his campaign lacked the right to sue because the injuries they complained about, the campaign's inability to, they couldn't repay a loan that Cruz made to his campaign before Election Day, did not stem from the enforcement. Okay, it doesn't matter. Roberts wrote. I love when like, okay, so like I now tell people like, how do I decide what justices I like on the Supreme Court? It has nothing to do with their politics. It's how clearly do they write a brief. Like how easily can I find the issue and the holding?
I think the best writer is actually Kagan.
I would agree Kagan's very good.
Even though like she's
I do not like I don't want to say who I don't like, but she just rambles and rambles and rambles and I get lost.
She limits it. Sotomayor?
Yeah, I don't like reading her stuff. I just think it's too long. Okay, so and for purposes of whether Cruz and his campaign have a right to sue, Roberts continued, it also doesn't matter whether the source of Cruz's injury. Okay, so final $10,000 that he loaned to his campaign. So this is personal money.
The Cruz bucks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I could see it being something like this.
Campaign finance?
Because I think that they would pick something that we don't know a lot about. You know, like where I think that like Dobbs, like I think people would be
flexing so hard, like
like people that have worked around that, like a lot of even on both sides, like a lot of people have worked in that where they would just be like unfair. I think it'd be like unfair knowledge.
They would get like
I don't know much about it.
What would happen is they would get 72 briefs, like citing more Bible verses than actual cases, and that would get a little hard to read through.
I think that they would pick something like our moot court write-on or brief is about the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment, I think.
The classics.
Or it might be the sixth. It's a freedom of speech case though too, but with advertisement, which I'm really excited about because I care about.
Just shouldn't have advertisements. I've never enjoyed, and every time I see one, I'm like, all right, I won't.
Would that be taking away people's First Amendment rights though?
We do that all the time anyway, so let's at least this way would make my life easier.
To not have advertisements?
I think New Zealand bans like a large amount of advertisements. I'm just
thinking. Can they like how do they ban them? Like based on like what people like or based on what the government wants?
I think they just tell them no.
But like no, like you're not. I don't. Let me re-ask the question, as Camille would say to Amber Heard. Answer my question.
The witness is being argumentative.
Yes. Can I declare a hostile witness, please?
Go ahead.
Yes or no? Okay, so I'm saying, like, do they ban things based on their own personal preference, like the government's personal preference, or do they ban like just?
I don't know. It's New Zealand. I'm assuming, like, I don't think you can own a spoon there without the government telling you can. Like,
I want to go to New Zealand so badly. Like, it's so beautiful there.
That's that Lord of the Rings, and that's the only.
Yeah, but I want to go during the winter there and go hiking. It would be beautiful. Oh, okay. So, Akarshna, how is your internship going though?
I I start my ACLU internship next week, and then I start my RA position like later next week. So I haven't really started them yet.
But you've been busy with this. So, I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe I don't want to put you on the spot. Maybe you're don't want to comment or say anything about Amber Heard because I know that like the ACLU's involvement with it. So I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I've just been like watching this trial like none other.
Seems like the lady's crazy.
I just have an issue with how publicized this case has been. I think it shouldn't have been live streamed. I think having access to every single minute of this case has made a mockery of the court and of the law. And I think that this sets up a really bad precedent for future victims of like any like future cases about involving any kind of domestic abuse. I just think it's not a good time. I'm not enjoying it.
I'm like, okay,
regardless of who
What
you
about the
believe,
super chats?
like regardless of who you believe, like I just think like it's not okay. Like the SNL skit, the TikTok sounds, like it's not cute, it's not a good look, and I think like there's a lot of people out there who are armchair lawyers, but who are
Yes, I'm
also
one
like,
of them.
it's really interesting to me because like again, Amber
you
Heard's
can have your opinion. I might just. I hope it's okay if I disagree with you, but completely share your opinion and like I
I'm
want to hear.
anonymous, so I can
good
disagree
side.
with whoever I want.
Yeah, Amber Heard's a terrible person. I think we all agree with that.
She's just
My
really
take on this is
scam.
considering that it's a defamation case, I think it's difficult for anyone to prove that they didn't abuse someone. And I'm not sure that from what I last saw, again, I have not been following this case too well in the last couple of weeks because Rydon has started and I have not been giving a flying fuck about anything else.
Have you heard all of the evidence out there? Do you think, like, or most of it, do you think?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Honestly, I genuinely don't know.
So
I'm just saying that I think it's really interesting. Like, my perspective of this is Amber Heard clearly does not fit like the perfect victim narrative. Like, very obviously does not. I think it's very interesting though the amount of misogyny she has garnered. Like, I again agree 100% that she's a terrible person and that she 100% was abusive. I cannot make any kind of calling about Johnny Depp because again, I have not heard the evidence. I don't want to make any kind of like about that. I just don't know enough. I just am of the opinion that she was abusive to him, but I just scrolling through social media and seeing how people are reacting, like it's very interesting, like how much like the kind of language that she has garnered like against her. Like it's very interesting to me.
Oh yeah. No, okay. So I have not I've been tweeting. I work for somebody that's covering the trial. And I am very for the Me Too, or have been very pro the Me Too movement. I'm very supportive of women. And I think this trial has made me realize that like I want to be the kind of person where it's like everybody deserves to be heard before we like jump on something, where I think before women were not heard and were not believed at all. And perhaps we've swung like we've gone too far where we don't even give people an option to like potentially offer their side before we completely cancel them. So like maybe unfortunately there has to be a period where we don't cancel somebody completely until like more comes to light. And I don't know what that looks like. And I don't want to like say like one way or the other, but I do think Johnny Depp was I do think his life was ruined. And I actually do believe that he is the victim in this case, where that's the only reason that I think that it is okay that this was live streamed, because after hearing all the evidence, I think he was the victim and he should get to choose.
Streaming
personally, I think it would have been helpful to see this case after it had been heard. I just think
that's the other thing. Sorry, can I comment on all of it has been heard through the UK trial. So if people that are really into it, like I heard all the evidence before this trial even started.
Didn't the UK trial say though that he was found?
Like, but that was because they allowed
in jolly old England.
They allowed no expert testimony. The judge had a relationship with Amber Heard, and Johnny had to prove that the son knew that Amber was lying, which was an impossible feat. Okay, but I think they did it to like have a trial run at this before this trial. But like, I mean, she literally cut the guy's finger off and admitted it on tape. Like,
no, like I said, I think she's a terrible person. I 100% think that she was abusive. I just did not and do not know enough to make any kind of like calling about Johnny Depp, and I don't want to, and I don't know if that makes me a terrible person. Maybe it does. Maybe we should just believe him. But at the same time, I feel like we have especially people who are studying the law, like I think we have a responsibility to know all the facts before making any kind of
No,
decision or
I think you're
ruling.
being rational. I think the only reason that I am like into this is like I have literally watched every minute of both trials.
Right,
And
like
looked at all the evidence. And so I feel more confident where I've slowly, and I like even today, like the two, I mean, she just has like, I mean, how many, oh, I have it pulled up because we were going to watch part of her trial today of like how many times they impeached this woman. The thing that like I am sad about is that if she does have BPD, it's clearly not treated.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know this part I'm
did
very
they not
serious
bring? Did they not bring in like did they
yeah,
not
but
bring
there
in
other the other
I think
attorney,
the person who testified or was Johnny's witness wasn't like actually her physician or something, someone who couldn't actually diagnose her, right? Like she was like, oh, I think she has this, but I can't actually make like
she did 2 different studies, and I think she's very legit. But I mean, Amber's like, I guess what I'm saying is like, if let's just say if like it doesn't matter.
They not subpoena medical records, like what's...
No, well, there's so much controversy in it. Like doctors are saying, I mean, like these two people were very covered, like they had their own personal doctors, nurses, but like, I mean, Amber Heard stood up today and said like 10 people, like it's her against the world. That's not what I guess this is what I mean is if she does have this and if she's living in her own reality and it's not cured, I don't know if she could have done anything different. Like, and I do think mental illness is a very real thing completely. Like, I mean, obviously we all believe that, but I don't know where that line is, and it's so hard to see into people's brain. But I mean, she like left before the jury stood up today, or before the jury left. I mean, she just did like she literally left before like she stormed off and didn't even wait for her attorneys. Like the judge told her.
That's a girl boss move. I gotta respect.
The judge told, and like stuff like she's just. I think like if I was her attorneys, I would have come in and instead of making these like huge allegations where there's no proof, like she literally like now has like 8 more sexual assault allegations that she's never testified to before. He like assaulted her with a bottle, and there's no proof of any of this. Where if she would have come in and just like made very subtle allegations, I think that would have been way more believable. But instead, like she's made like this huge show where people watching it, I think you feel like you have to literally pick one side or the other because she's made it like so much. Does that make sense? Like at all? Like
it's probably part of the trial strategy, like live stream
no.
it. So
I don't think that's. I think that she's going rogue, and her attorneys don't know what to do.
No, it's part of.
Her attorneys also seem like completely ill prepared. Like, are they both broke or something? Like, is this the best that they can do? Like, I don't understand.
Well, one, Camille Vasquez is like the most amazing attorney. Like Johnny's attorney is amazing, and like she laid the law down yesterday. But no, I think that Amber is rogue. Like,
her attorneys seem like do you remember that one video of him like objecting to his to the person he was questioning?
Oh, yes,
and
yes,
he was like,
that was funny.
And she was like, it's your question.
Yes, so I would actually say that attorney has been fine throughout. That was a moment. That was definitely a moment. And I think that when we think about this, I would be nervous to cross Johnny Depp. Or at some moment over 3 days, like we're not going to be completely perfect. I actually think that attorney's decent, but like today, this is what I have pulled up. It was literally the worst cross exam. Do you want to watch part of it? I know you probably have to get going, Karshna.
I have to hop off soon because I have a lot of work to do.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start watching some of it, and if you want to go, you can. Like, don't feel bad.
I gotta go. It is
the BPD stare.
It is late, not late, but I'm gonna be up late.
Yeah, you need to like make a decision. Yeah. This was so cool. I would love to talk to you.
I'll see you later. Bye.
We could dive into stuff more because
Bye.
Bye.
Is she doing the Chairman Mao bit today, or does she have a new outfit?
Okay, well, first let's watch some of like the key moments. Okay, so
the keynotes.
Okay, here we go.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 710, which is already. You also wrote.
This is awful.
And go on to page 11 of a.
Where is it at?
So what does he want? Like $50 million?
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
Hold on, let me see.
Career was going very well.
Oh, here's her and James Franco cuddling.
It's just like in Spring Breakers. Good film. This is an elevator. Oh.
James Franco, hey. Like, she's like, we're just friends. He was comforting me during a really hard time.
Yeah, I kind of want bad things to happen to Hollywood people.
I'm in love with Johnny Depp, so no. Look, he's like boink. Okay, hang on. So let's go.
Wrath for women who speak out.
On the same day.
Hold on, I want to find this.
You testified.
Where is it?
This is the Eastern District of Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Rocket Docket. Where is this? Is this up in
Fair-
Nova?
Fair-
Fairfax. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sure. And then
Oh yeah, this is the good part. Okay, ready? Watch this. Dun dun dun. I'll speed it up a little bit. They're just so long. I'm not very good at like.
You gotta timestamp it. This
To
is
be
like streaming
fair.
101. You gotta have your timestamp set up. This is what Rakita does.
Oh, he
Like,
does.
well, Rakita has moderators that do this for him for free.
I'm looking for some moderators to our one viewer. Okay, hang on.
Mods, ban everyone in the chat.
Y'all are becoming mods. Congratulations. Yeah, invite your friends. That would be cool. So we have more than one viewer.
I linked it to
Your Honor, if we could please have
6 or 7
Ms.
people.
Heard's email published to the jury.
All right, 1262.
Okay, this is so good. Dun,
This is a
dun.
schedule for your wedding weekend, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it's not. It's a proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being
You
quite
know,
different.
Not the real
Do you
one?
see where it says 7 p.m. rehearsal dinner?
Yes, I see
Oh,
that.
why are they
And
not
the
even
next
on
item
the
on the
stupid
list says,
thing?
quote, after dance party and drugs and music, end quote, right?
What's wrong with a little dancing and drugs and music? How
So
are
you plan to have
what are we
drugs
impeaching her
and
with?
On the
Objection, relevance.
To be fair, we were gonna have. As I mentioned,
How is this relevant? This is
so, bridal
prejudicial.
party Before this, the schedule ended up
serious.
changing quite a bit, and this is a draft clearly that was sent before there were a lot of changes made.
Oh,
The bridal
So
party.
your original
and the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Heard, Ms.
separate.
Heard, your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug addict, the monster, and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner.
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
a
it's
plan.
not what it
it
suggests,
says.
Ms. Heard, what you said in that email.
right. But what
Okay,
I'm
but
trying
what
to
is
say
this
the
about?
schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little.
So your
as I
original
called it,
idea was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
The as the email suggests,
So good.
there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
we're having cuddle puddles.
You like to do drugs
Oh
on
god, that's the worst concept.
I have.
and
Californians.
you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. That was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday, correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
You asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine
With
was
the
right
whole
by the elevators.
closet.
And I also told him he could bring in a joint. I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at plaintiff's exhibit 1263.
What actually is the purpose of this questioning here? Establishing.
You have to
Your
know
Honor,
more about the
ask
trial, I
to
guess,
show-
to
First
care
of all, this
about
one
it.
hasn't been produced. This has not.
Hold on, there's another really good one.
Certain
Though.
questions in the deposition.
And it's a new one, so I'd like a copy of it.
Listen
That's
to how she
ridiculous.
spoke to him.
You consumed drugs at Coachella, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Who didn't? It's Coachella.
And mushrooms at the same time.
I did. Yes.
We did
And it
drugs
made
and
you feel
mushrooms.
sick, right?
I felt horrible. Yes.
So you left Coachella.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified yesterday that when you left Coachella, you left with, quote, your entire group.
That is correct.
And you were, quote, never alone with Starling, right?
That is correct.
You weren't anywhere near him.
Not alone, no.
You sat here when Starling Jenkins testified that he collected you from Coachella when you were sick, right?
He picked up my entire group.
And Mr. Jenkins testified, quote, I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker, which I assume was in reference to the hotel, alone. I took her to 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back up to the Parker, got her in the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else. You were there when Mr. Jenkins testified, right?
Yes, he was wrong.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Jenkins is lying.
He's just wrong. I don't know what his intentions are. He was just wrong about that. We were a big group of us. I wasn't alone with him.
She was never
Is it
alone.
possible that you don't remember
She's just
correctly
straight
because
up
you were
lying.
sick from taking MDMA and mushrooms at the
No.
same time?
I remember everything about that night.
I'd like to play
Oh,
for
that's
you
good.
Exhibit 1229, which is already in evidence at 1720 through 2128.
Listen to this. This is intense. This is literally how she spoke to him. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit for a minute.
We're going on BPD 1.5 speed.
Look at that white suit. She is a power. She is just a force. Best attorney of our generation. And she went to a T4 law school.
Where'd she go?
Southwestern Law.
I've never even heard of that. That sounds like a bank.
She's from Orange County originally, though. But now she lives in DC. She's 37.
Oh,
Stop the process. I don't want to. You're not going to do Okay, I don't want to.
We don't? How much want it? No, I don't, which one?
I don't want a divorce. I never wanted a fucking divorce. I never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me. Because I left you because you were fucking. You fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking start punching on me. Why? I love you.
That's what really
Phone
happened on
recordings?
your 30th birthday, isn't it, Miss Heard?
No,
Miss-
that's incorrect.
Mr. Depp was in bed.
It's out.
You're right, that's what I
Well, yeah.
do.
Let me feel this.
You're right, you're right.
Excellent
She's
choice.
crazy. Like, listen to this.
Whoa, I wonder what we else, I wonder what else we can reach for in the last 60 days. Oh, no, it was 4 years ago. You're right. There's other things you can.
So loud.
No, I'm not laughing.
No, matter of fact,
I'm not
laugh.
laughing. I'm not. It's
Oh.
serious. I'm sure you can find other things.
No,
Like,
no.
listen to this. Like, it's
tripping.
sickening. This
What
laugh.
was that? You
It's gonna
can
haunt
write
me.
You can write a book. You can write a book. I know you can write a
I
book.
guess I need more context because she just sounds like my ex.
Oh. Hey, for your book.
No,
Your book.
no,
Is
no.
this gonna be good for your book?
You think she's just drunk? What am I listening to here?
But she says she doesn't do drugs or drink.
I thought it was a
Well, that's obviously not true.
It's a big night. It's the night of her birthday, which was like one of the events, and this is how she was acting.
Oh, wait.
Hey,
Hey, you know, no, you're not what? No, you're not selling
you
out.
sell out,
No,
Mike.
no,
You wanna
yeah,
sell out.
no one does just
Yes.
anyone's drunk streak.
Con- Continue to tell everybody, Franco Physique. Everybody. Thank you.
When you're in your 20s, you should really know what you want. Like
I know.
selling your journals.
I know. If you didn't know who the fuck I was.
You're right. Go sell your journals to a real non-seller. 5-year-old. Or, sorry, 50.
6.
51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. I don't think so. I don't really think so. But you're right. I mean, hey, at least I didn't do like a TV show where I was heartbroken in my 20s. God, that would be like embarrassing. If only I was with someone in their 50s that could point that out to me. Imagine mine. You're right. When you play a non-sexualized object. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. You got me. You got it all figured out.
I don't even know what movies I've done.
If you make
You haven't even taken an interest.
If only I could be
You know,
like
but I had to
you. If
watch
only
your-
I could be like
I had to watch your fucking direct and you trying to like
You're a joke.
spew out
You're a
fucking
joke.
lines.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, I'm the joke in the industry, Amber. I'm the joke. I'm the joke in the
I'm
industry.
sorry, I can't really hear you. I'm sorry. The reruns of all my bullshit are playing too loud for me to hear you. I'm gonna just go and pedal my way back. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Aquaman.
Oh, 21 is whatever it was.
I
I
was
don't remember it anymore.
I was
No one
20.
cares. You're fucking fucking.
Washed up piece of
Oh,
shit.
what?
Washed up piece of shit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you.
Your jealousy's so tragic.
I'm sorry.
Your jealousy's so tragic. Fucking like
I can't hear
thinking
you.
that I'm going on the road with a
Turn
band.
on my- Hey, I can't hear you.
You told Mr. Depp to suck your dick multiple times, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You tell
She
him to go
meant
run
it.
to his 15 other houses, right?
That's correct.
What else she
'Cause that's
said.
what he would do when you behave like this, isn't it?
Eventually, he would go and stay in one of the
Lying
other
through her
houses.
teeth.
You call him a sellout, don't you?
I was expressing frustration about his criticism of my career and how many problems that caused within the dynamic of our relationship. Yes,
So you call him a
That was
sellout,
a line.
I called
Rehearse that one.
him things, as you can hear.
You're a
sellout.
We spoke to each other in a really horrible way.
Pretty sure we just heard you speak to him in a really horrible way. You called him a sellout.
I just
Right, Ms.
disagree.
Heard? You called him a sellout, right, Ms. Heard?
I called him a lot of ugly things.
And a joke.
I called him a lot of ugly things.
You called him a joke on that recording. You called him a washed up piece of shit.
I think we both called each other that on that.
There's
occasion,
DUI
yes.
attorney.
Mr. Depp
Hey.
mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that
Did
role
I
in Aquaman,
stutter?
didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning.
Look at her face right
Quote,
here.
"Your
She's like,
jealousy
no, you
stems from-"
didn't.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Ms. Heard?
All right, let's find two more good
You're on
moments.
May 21, 251.
The ACLU, yes.
That's what you testified to in this courtroom.
Hold on, let's find it. This was before
This is a
lunch.
photograph of you taken inside the courthouse when you obtained the DVRO, correct? Violence against Mr.
All right, here we go. She brought this on herself because she said
Please pull up.
there was no
Exhibit 1.
bad press. She's like, I didn't bring any bad press upon myself. Johnny
Yes,
brought the
just
bad
one.
press.
Yes,
upon
thank you,
me.
Your Honor. Apologies.
That's fine.
It's already been admitted into
Yes, ma'am.
evidence.
Oh, we lost our viewer.
You wrote this op-ed, right?
Damn.
With the help of the ACLU, yes.
That's what you testified to in this courtroom, right?
That is correct.
And this was published on December 18th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Aquaman was released on December 21st, 2018, right?
That is, yes, that sounds correct.
And that was your first big blockbuster, big budget role, right?
I disagree, but it was the first time I had like a,
Oh, he's
A
still
leading
here.
role
Thank
in a
you.
movie
Thank you,
of that
Franco.
size,
Thank
yes.
you.
well, second time, yes.
Our viewer is back.
What was your first time?
The second one.
But you were the love interest in Aquaman, correct?
That is correct.
The
Now-
love interest. Listen to these.
You wrote
titles.
here, quote,
Yes.
and you're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp in May of 2016, right?
Are you asking me if that's what I was writing about?
That's what you're referring to, correct?
It is not. It is about what happened to me. I had not publicly ever accused him of. We did it.
You testified.
An ambassador.
Yeah, that's not the ones I wanted. I wanted the ones before lunch.
Lunch.
So probably these ones. This is damaging.
I mean, I believe that the statements kind of kept being attached to new defamatory, articles that were like smear campaign sort of attack.
not a
articles is
smear
what it is.
campaign.
Let's go through some of the articles that were out in the press. So plaintiff's exhibit 1267. Could just publish that just for the witness. That would be great. Thank you. This is an article published on February 2nd, 2020. And the title is hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp trends after Amber Heard admits to hitting actor in audio clip. Do you see that?
I see that.
And if we can go to
Come on, show
plaintiff's
that.
exhibit
I want like, Camille's the real
1268.
story here. Show the attorney. Thank you.
Just find her like
published on February 3rd,
her like
2020.
LegalZoom Avu profile or
It
whatever.
reads the title Amber Heard admits to hitting.
Yeah, search her on Lexis. See if she has like briefs.
That's when his lawyer leaked an edited tape.
Ms. Heard. Do you see the title?
Look at that.
Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny
Like
Depp
her
in
tone
recording.
is
Do you
perfect.
see that?
I see the title.
Okay. We could please go to plaintiff's exhibit 1269. This one was published on March 17th, 2020. Amber Heard slammed door into Johnny Depp's head, reveals new audio. Do you see that?
Yeah, these are more of the PR plans.
Let's go to 1270. This one was published on March 31st, 2020. Amber Heard to be sacked from Jason Momoa's Aquaman after Johnny Depp's controversy, reports. Do you see that?
I do.
Such grace.
We'll go to plaintiff's exhibit 1271. See the title that says Johnny Depp says ex-wife Amber Heard sliced his finger off and it quote erupted like Vesuvius.
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
Sliced his finger
We'll go to
off.
1272. This one was published on May 29th, 2020, and it says, when Amber Heard confessed to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head, clocking him in the jaw. Do you see that?
I see that.
Because you're an abuser and you abused
Going to
him
1275.
Look,
and then
man, this
ruined
is
his
like
life.
This one was published on
Didn't
July
even
15th,
care.
2020. Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells libel trial. Do you see that?
This was Adam Waldman as well.
Doesn't say Mr. Waldman. It actually says Kate James also says she often received abusive text messages from Johnny Depp's ex-wife, doesn't it?
I just know because he threw down the article.
Ms. Heard, isn't that what that
Mr.
says?
Waldman threw the newspaper at
Heard.
me afterwards.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question.
What
My
was your
question is,
Sorry.
the title of the article says, Amber Heard stole my sexual assault
Yes.
story, ex-aide tells libel trial. Kate James also says, Your Honor, she opened the door by saying it was Adam Waldman.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Let's go to plaintiff's exhibit 1276. Amber Heard admits to hitting fucking baby Johnny Depp in court audio. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's go to 1277. Published July 28th, 2020. Amber Heard's sister thought she was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims witness. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
I see that.
Thought that you were
1278.
going to kill Johnny Depp. Your own sister thought that, which apparently her sister's testifying
Published
for
on July 28th,
Amber
2020.
tomorrow.
interesting.
Johnny Depp was the victim of
That'll be a
abuse,
fun cross.
London's High Court told. Do you see that?
I do see that.
She opens the door. Wait for it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take our,
Oh, that
our
wasn't
lunch
the one I thought it
recess
was.
then. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead
That
and take
was
our hour
good.
lunch recess at this point. Do not discuss the
Wait
case
for
with anybody. Don't do
this.
any outside research. Okay.
Meaning he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because
Really bad for Miss Heard.
I feel like Jean.
Oh, she literally brought out the
You
knife.
said-
Oh yeah, it's crazy. There's so many crazy things. to
Did
this.
it because it couldn't use me or any of the materials for me.
And that extension was for 20 months, right?
That's correct.
And then we have
Ms. Hurd, you testified,
That's what it looks like, yes.
and this is after he made the
The entirety of 356 coming in.
And I did not do this thing with the door. I
oh yeah, watch this. Here we go. Give us the. So yeah, if you're in the chat, go ahead and tell us. Do you believe Johnny or do you believe Amber? No judgment. It's really hard for people at first to say they believe Johnny because it's so hard. Because like in today's the time we do want to believe women, but like after watching all this evidence, like no. And I'm very supportive of women, truly.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because usually
That's fine.
Thank you.
it's very hard for a male.
That I'm what?
I'm very surprised that the public perception is as it is because usually it's very hard for a male to prove that he's a victim of domestic violence.
Well, not even that. Like, I think it's
The next thing.
I think it's easier for a man to prove domestic violence than it is for a man to prove that he didn't abuse somebody. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, well, because you kind of can't prove a negative in anything.
Yeah, like I think that like some men, like if it was like if Johnny, like if there was no charges against Johnny, like if a man comes forward, like it's more.
It also helps that he's like, you know, an attractive movie star millionaire. That's certainly helping his case.
Right, but I guess like it's a good person to start saying that like men like in these situations like we have to ask more questions and like we just can't cancel people. Like
I'm
like
a
we
question
need,
asker.
And that I'm going to play to you as
like she doesn't
cue.
even care.
Would you
Like,
listen to this, please?
so this is her depo before the UK trial.
Yes, we can.
Oh wait for it. So good. Good, our one fan is here. She's crazy. Crazy.
I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I just stretched your toes. I didn't want to do that. I let that down. I said, I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to her. I did not kick
So essentially they're playing the same video that they just played for her in trial. And she had like very smooth response to. And now they're like, okay, well let's do what how you responded to this the first time. And so she's listening to it, she's not caring, you can see that her demeanor is very
You
different.
told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct? Did you say that?
I said whatever I said in that recording. I don't.
So there's another one. It's really good.
Their eyes at me while I was talking. Their eyes at me while I was talking.
When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information
Oh, this is good.
coming
Okay,
from me, coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
That was a little like, oh!
You slipped up there, didn't you, Ms. Hurd? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
TMZ is the same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets the day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't know
TMZ
how
owns
to do
the
that.
copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
I have no idea what TMZ
Did it pay
owns.
you for that?
I never got paid for it because I had nothing to do with that.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside
Look at all these
scoop
people in
to
the
your
back
divorce from
like,
Mr. Depp, huh?
smirking, and then like they got you.
I have no idea. It is that's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
You don't know how to pitch stuff to
And
the
also,
media.
what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not
and
when you
years.
were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way. What extortion?
Tassa Van Ree is your ex-wife, right?
That's right. She's my ex-partner.
She's the one that you told this jury Mr. Depp was jealous of, right?
Yeah, well, that was 2013 fights around March, yes.
You testified that he tried to burn one of her paintings, right?
That's correct.
You testified he tried to burn one of your favorite paintings that she did, right?
I don't know if it was one of my favorites.
No, you said favorite.
You committed domestic violence against Miss Van Ree during your relationship, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
And people saw
Look at
that.
their face.
That's
She's
not
like,
true.
It was
ooh.
covered in the press. Isn't that true?
There's
It
a
was it was
police
planted in the press
report.
by Johnny's team 2 days after I got the TRO. Not
Can
coincidentally.
you please pull up plaintiff's
She
exhibit
opened the door.
1279?
She said Johnny's team planted it. No, no, no. So now we can impeach her. Of course, there's an objection.
There should
You're gonna
probably
lose
be
it
more
because you can't
objections.
keep your mouth shut, Amber.
Yeah, they need to be coaching.
Look at them. They're
her.
smirking. And they're like, we know what's coming.
Are they not prepping her? It sounds
No,
like
they are. Like, I honestly think that, like, she is going
We got an article
rogue.
displayed for the witness. This is
Here
an
we
article
go.
from 2 years ago, correct, Ms. Heard?
Here we go.
I don't know when this
May of
was.
2020.
That's not when it came out, no. This story started getting planted after I got a TRO, after I got a restraining order against Johnny.
But there was already a police
The headline says
report.
Amber Heard
Objection,
allegedly
Your Honor.
struck.
Objection, Your Honor. I think Your Honor ruled she can't say that.
If you want to approach again.
The title reads, Amber Heard allegedly grabbed, struck her ex-girlfriend at the airport, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's not true.
May we approach?
Okay.
She said yes, and that's not true. And so there's a police report, which they can impeach her because she said, like, but I think they were like the probative or whatever value. It's a good learning moment. I think the door should have been open here. 100%. We can see. Oh yeah, I wish that I wasn't watching this stream because like they're not showing her. Like their attorney's literally going wild right now. She's like flailing her arms.
she should be. How was the direct?
Awful.
Why
What, the
So the article, the title is Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend.
She's already.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you. If I may start over.
now for the
Amber
third
Heard
time.
allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend Tassa Van Ree at the airport in 2009. Did I read that right?
Yes, this is another example of the smear campaign.
So Mr. Depp is not the only domestic partner you've assaulted, is he, Ms. Heard?
I've never assaulted Mr. Depp or anyone else that I've been romantically linked to, ever.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right.
Boom.
I'm sorry, redirect.
The
It is my
redirect.
best recollection.
The redirect is so bad.
And on your back in East Asia with Nurse Filati on 12/16/2015 about the injuries that you had suffered as a result of Mr. Depp's attack on you on 12/15.
Yes, she guided me through a concussion. That's correct.
And you indicated that you in fact had after the divorce, correct?
Objection leading.
Did you or did you not?
Capture it. That wasn't even a thing.
If you knew why Mr. Depp couldn't or wouldn't look you in the eye here or in the UK, you said, yes, you know.
It might
Why?
be the worst redirect of all time.
Please tell
to
the
be
jury why.
honest.
Because he's guilty. He knows he's lying.
Look at him.
Otherwise, why can't you
Watch
look
his
at me?
mouth. He literally leans over and
I survived.
says,
I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
I don't look at her because I don't want to. He literally says, I don't want
You were
to.
asked about a
That's it.
bruise that was on your arm from March
I may have
15,
watched this a couple times
2013.
already.
Do you recall how long before the picture you had sustained that bruise?
I do.
How long?
2 weeks.
You were asked a number of times by Ms. Vasquez if you took pictures from your incidents earlier in the relationship.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
It was
About the abuse during the time
Okay,
it was
this is where it
happening.
gets
Objection,
good.
Your Honor.
It's
Leading
not offered to, it's,
and hearsay.
sustained.
Your Honor, it's prior
See,
consistent
like, why
statements.
weren't they doing this to her? Like, she's not letting them get a word
What if
out.
anything did you tell
Oh, yeah,
them
watch this.
Why
about
were
the
they
abuse?
not?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, may I approach?
That's fine.
See, like, why is defense not playing hardball with that like that with every question?
Because Vasquez doesn't ask subject like she's too good.
Hmm.
Like she's literally one of the best attorneys of our time. She destroyed like the first 2 hours yesterday were like the two of the best. Nicole, will you take a couple questions at the end? Oh yeah, like you can tell there's not gonna like you throw out your questions, whatever you want the questions to be. This is so casual. This is our first.
Probably gonna head out soon.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. Okay. If you have okay, how about this? How about we do that? We're gonna do this again this week, and we'll take all your questions then.
I think we'll have another guest joining us.
Yeah. So we have another guest joining us. If you have a question, quick, you can tell me your question. I want you to watch this part though, Hayden, and then we can go.
Okay. What do we got here?
Ms. Heard, how many people have you shared the fact of abuse prior to 2015?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
How
Calls for
many?
hearsay.
How many? Overruled.
How's that? He's asking her what she.
Because
Roughly about 10?
it's not against this. It's not against. It's not
Can you
against.
name
It's
them?
not counter to the party.
Objection, Your Honor.
Hearsay.
I think she can, it's not offered, it's just showed that she informed people before. Their
Objection,
suggestions.
Your Honor. Can we approach this is again?
This is again inappropriate.
Black.
Look at they're literally laughing at her.
Yes, I do.
And could you tell us what it is?
That's what my ENT, the ears, nose, and throat doctor, told me was.
Objection, Your Honor.
Hearsay.
Hearsay.
All right, when there's objection, please stop talking. Thank you. All right, I'll sustain the objection as the hearsay.
Okay. What, if any, you were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true?
Objection,
Should-
Your Honor. Leading.
She absolutely did that.
Lack of foundation.
Question though. Sustain the objection as to leading.
What, if anything, did you do to produce medical records to the defendant, to the plaintiff in this case?
I turned over all of my devices, and they had Johnny's team had a third party, or somebody they selected as a third party, go and pull all relevant documents from those devices, which I handed over.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe. Maybe.
Objection,
Just
Your Honor.
in-
Lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next
I
question.
missed that one.
And what, if anything, did you produce to the plaintiff in connection with your
Objection,
consultation with an ENT
leading.
specialist relating to your nose?
Objection. Leading.
Sustain.
Foundation. Hearsay.
What if it's not the cure all? It's sustained.
Sustained.
When did you see an ENT specialist?
2017 or 2016 or 17.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection.
Here's the best part. Then we can be done.
After the attack,
So on what day did you see that?
that would have been the 17th of just overruled, good. Because I didn't want it. I realized that that's what I was entitled to, but I didn't want it. That's simple.
Literally skipping pages at this point.
The tape recording that was played that has you laughing quite a bit. Can you tell the jury what the context of that particular tape recording was?
I don't really recall a whole lot about what was going on. I know we had been fighting kind of ad nauseum and in this sort of loop, if you will, and I'm doing my best to not show my pain. That's what I was trying to do.
Not show her pain in that video.
Not show what kind of pain I was in.
Now, Ms. Vasquez asked you about how you got your role in Aquaman. Could you please describe to the jury how you got your role in Aquaman?
I auditioned, not Johnny, to you relating to that article.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
What did he do to her?
Unintelligible. I don't understand the question.
Overruled, let's see where it goes.
Intelligible.
He was carrying the paper that had that headline on it that he leaked and threw it at me at the UK trial. We were unfortunately sat kind of actually literally next to one another with COVID spacing in between us, and he threw the paper down at me as he sat down with that on the cover.
And where was that?
In the UK, at the UK trial.
Objection, Your Honor. This is beyond the scope.
It's not beyond the scope. Overruled. Thank you. Why did you tweet about the makeup and Mr. Waldman?
Because he was calling me a liar and a hoaxer, and that this was an elaborate hoax just to get Johnny.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Literally can't
Next
think of
question.
anything. Like,
Okay. I don't have any more questions right now, right? Don't you, right? Maybe you have a seat next to your attorney, okay?
that's it. Like, that was it.
You can go to seat next to her. That's fine.
And watch this. She tells her to go sit next to him, but
All right, ladies and
instead,
gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our afternoon recess then for
she's
15
supposed to
minutes
go
to discuss
there,
the case with anybody and don't
but instead she literally just walks out and doesn't even wait for the jury.
Sorry, sweetie.
All right, that's good. All right, we'll be back for another live stream. Thank you all for joining. That was cool. We'll see you all later.